guys, so today I'm going to be going over lesson 12.2 with you guys, which is on page 699. So our last lesson that I went over, that was just kind of introducing us to the different measurements that we use, such as inches and feet. So for this lesson, you're going to be just focusing on just inches. We're not going to be measuring with anything else except for inches. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'll go ahead and read this aloud to find out what we need to do. The orange square is 1 inch long. How can you use 1-inch squares to find the length of the line in inches? Measure the line and explain. All right, so give me a second while I flip my computer around real quick. All right, there we go. All right, so let me get my writing tool. I want to use purple today. Okay, so remember, before we always get started, we want to go back into our paragraph and underline our important information. So the first important information, I think, is the orange square is 1 inch long. That's going to help us remember how much this orange square is actually worth. The next thing that I want to underline is how can you use 1-inch squares to find the length of the line? All right, so we just wanted to underline a few important details from that sentence to help us remember what we're supposed to be doing. What is our end goal for this activity? All right, so for me, I am doing this all on the computer, and I do not have access to an actual workbook right now. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to do this, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to even explain how to do it because it's kind of confusing without really seeing it. I would suggest for you guys, one of the easier ways for you to solve this would be to just start off by cutting the orange square out. When you cut that orange square out, you can then move it around on the line. Just make sure you don't cut the line out because you do need that. All right, so for me, since I can't cut out the orange square, I'm going to be using a separate piece of paper. And I'm just, this is where it gets a little confusing because I'm having to explain to you what I'm doing. Made a little dot there. Okay, so I am lining up my piece of paper with the corner, like I'm just matching the corners up. So the corner of the, so right here, the corner of the square, I'm lining up with my paper. And then once I got it lined up, I'm drawing a line on my paper so I can have the exact size of the square on my paper. Now my paper I can move around. So I'm going to use my paper to help me make lines on my actual line that I'm trying to find the length of. So now I'm lining up my corner of the paper right here at where it starts. And I'm just going to draw the first line right there. Whoops, I'm supposed to be. Oh, because I'm pressing it in other places. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to move my paper over, and my corner is now going to line up to the line I just made. And draw the next line. All right, same thing, just moving my paper over. And again, I am using this paper based on what I measured from the orange square. So this paper right now is 1 inch long, just like the orange square. And perfect, the last line I get is the very end of it. All right, so now I know that each time I did that was 1 inch apart. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 inch in each of these just to help me remember how much each one was worth. So now that I've done that, I am ready to count each one because we're adding up each inch that we did to see how long it is all together. So I'm just literally going to count from the very beginning and count all the way to the end. And we're counting by one, super easy. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so when you count all the way over there, you count to 6 inches. So how long is the line? The line is about 6 inches long. All right, I know this one was a bit difficult to understand and for me to explain. Unfortunately, I just don't have access to a workbook. That would have been the easiest way to explain and show you how to do it. If you're not understanding after this video, or this video made you more confused, you can just completely ignore my video and try it yourself in the workbook. I think the rest of it should get a little easier. Sorry, my dog's with me and he's barking a little bit. So just remember, all right here at the beginning, you always have, the information, and it kind of explains to you what to do. It has directions right there. So this could be a great tool right here for you to use. It's not letting me draw on it. This could be a great tool for you to use right here to help you understand what to do as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and be done with this video. And if you need further help, please let me know. And I know this was a little confusing to understand, but just try your best. That's all I really care about. Trying your very best. All right, well, I will see you guys later. Bye.